Welcome to the Bill Collector, where I'm Bill. Welcome to the Bill Collector, where I'm Bill, and I'm a collector. So you see the gear. I'm sure you know what this is in memory for. So I'm just going to take a moment of silence to, remember that. All right, so if you just joined, this is the Bill Collector, where I'm Bill and I'm a collector. And once again, the Texas is for you know what. We're not really going to get into that on this show. That's another time and another place. So, what? Trying out a microphone. But I'm hoping my goddamn camera works. Like, I don't know. It looks clear as day to me on what I'm looking at right here. But the other day it was like crusty as fuck. So yeah, anyways, if you saw the picture for this episode, you'll notice the Diego Maradona card. And that is because I'm going to talk about Panini a little bit. And the reason I used him is because, one, my grandma's from Argentina. And two, was it Sunday? Yeah, I think it was Sunday. Me and my lady, if I'm allowed to even say that today. I'm just kidding. Not. We went to go visit my daughter and the two grandkids. And my son-in-law happened to be there, which was nice to see him there too. He's just, was it last week? Yeah, last week he was sworn in as a fireman in the city I grew up in Monrovia. And man, the kid worked his fucking balls off for that. Let me tell you that much. He's from England at that. And that's kind of what I'm getting at right now. So we went to their house in Liverpool. That's his team. They were on TV. And there's a bunch of soccer that I don't understand. But in one of the championships that's being played throughout the year, they were in a... Well, what can I say? They were waiting for the outcome of the other match because somebody had to lose for them to win. So it was like out of their control. They did what they needed to do. They won the game. And as inside Seinfeld, yada, yada, yada. Okay. But boy, was he sad. I mean, boy, was he sad. And I wasn't going to laugh or anything, but like you could just see the sorrow on the young lad's face. And being a Dodger fan, or if you're a sports fan in general, you know goddamn well your team's not going to win every single year. And you kind of just have to like learn to live with whatever the hell it does to you emotionally. I'm not invested anymore in sports that way, so whatever the hell happens. Yeah, and so I was also going to show a couple of my Chipper Jones things. I'd have to say, other than the Will Clark collection, I may have more Chipper Jones cards than I do any other player that I collect. So I'll show you that too. But yeah, so I don't know why I chose Panini. I do know why I chose it. Because I was organizing my Panini things, the products I have that are Panini. And if you're a collector of my age, this is what Panini was. stickers. I believe sometimes they were all stickers, but they were used as game pieces and whatnot. And so this is what Panini was to me growing up. And then, wow, dude, this is and this is kind of what Panini has been relegated to as of shit. This was last year's card, so I'm not a huge fan of it. Number one, show you number one. See how Panini had logo rights? They had rights, and I like stuff with logos on it. When the whole card thing got fucked up, well, only Topps got the rights to baseball, and well, there you go, no logos. But that's neither here nor there. We're talking about Panini in a good light, because the things that I showed you, this stuff is cool to me. It's original. And anyways, we'll kind of get into Panini right now. So this thing that I showed you right here, this, if any more people come on this song, I'm gonna open up the chat window, excuse me. I guess so, huh, Steven? What the hell? Yeah, it actually makes for a good game. It's a good game. So, all right. I don't know if anybody is collecting Will Clark like I do. And if you do, you might have the stuff. But I was going through, when I was organizing my Panini stuff, and I found this stuff here. These are extras, duplicates that I have, and at the end of the show, I'll probably ask a trivia question, which I have not figured out yet. And whoever can answer that question can get those. All right. So, about Panini. Go ahead and get into that right now. Now, I'm going to be kind of reading something right here. Because it's pretty interesting how these guys were doing one thing and got into another and then became successful doing this. So the company Panini was basically brothers Benito and Giuseppe Panini. And they were operating a newspaper distribution office in Modena, Italy in 1960. And they had found a collection of figurines. Okay, that's the interesting part right here, figurines. What I showed you, this is considered a figurine. Now, let's see. Do I have any visible starting lineups? That is not a figurine in Italy. This is a figurine. And it's a sticker attached with glue. That's what that means. And so they had found these things, and the company that had made them was unable to sell them. And let's just say that they bought the remaining collection and sold them in packets of 2. I don't even know what the pictures or any of this was. I can't find that. And I'm sure I can if I really did the research, but we're talking about baseball stuff. And Panini sold 15 million packets of those 2 figurines, and basically with that success, a partner joined the group, and they got into doing soccer stuff. That was their first, can I say, foray into sports and eventually sports cards. Now, soccer is a real big worldwide thing. And when they got into that, that really, really moved them up and made them a real big, successful company. And a lot of, I mean, because there really wasn't a lot of soccer cards going around, these things served as a nice collectible for people collecting soccer stuff. And some of these Panini figurines, as they're called, are worth tons of money. Don't exactly know how much money, but tons of money. You can get the stuff graded just like anything else. And well, there you go. This is the Will Clark stuff that I have. And once again, got this little packet right here. We're going to give that away at the end of the show. All right. So in 1986, Panini created a museum of these stickers that they donated to the city of Modena in 1992. And Panini, throughout the years, was collecting the World Cup teams and players and organizing that stuff, and they gave that to the museum, which is pretty rad. And it looks like in 2006, Panini partnered up with the Coca-Cola Company to create the first virtual sticker album for the 2006 FIFA World Cup. So even in 2006, they were doing digital stuff. I mean, does that kind of like lead into NFTs of today? Perhaps it does. Perhaps it doesn't. And okay, now this is where the company starts to move beyond the little figurines and the game board pieces that they're making, and got into the sports card market. And in 2009, they acquired the exclusive license to produce NBA cards and stickers. And this is the wild one. If you guys are card collectors like me, Donruss was a big company. Then after the what they call it, the junk wax boom, or whatever you want to call it, the boom, trading card boom of the 90s, the companies lost their licenses after Supreme Court got involved. So a lot of those, well, let's say all of those companies that were there making baseball cards were no longer there. So that's kind of what happened. So Donruss faded into oblivion, and just, does to say they stopped being a company? Not quite sure, but I know they weren't sustaining enough to stay in business. So Panini acquired them in 2000 and what was that again? 2009, the same year they got the exclusive license to NBA. So yeah, that's pretty wild, because now Donruss has been re-released, and they're unfortunately, because they don't have the Major League Baseball license, they don't have the logos on the helmets or the jerseys. And matter of fact, they do carry the licenses for the Players Association, so they can use the images and also the names. So at least they got the damn names. At least it's not that abstract. But once again, for me, that new Panini stuff isn't. Here, I'm going to put one up. The Panini I grew up with and the Panini today. Anyways, I'm more of a nostalgia guy. That's why I collect. Excuse me. But I am lucky that Will Clark is still a popular enough player in 2022 to be able to have things to purchase and add to my collection, because as the years go by, it's getting harder and harder to find stuff. And it's getting harder. And you know what? I could go on these databases. You know what? I really can. I just don't. There's people out there that put that stuff together, list every card, as many photos as possible. And that's how crazy the collecting, the hobby of collecting is. It's about cataloging. It's about a lot of stuff, especially if you're trying to keep track of it like I do. We'll get to the Chipper Jones stuff in a second. But once again, we'll have our own styles. And for me, I like the stuff organized, and I don't like different card manufacturers to be like on the same page as other ones. It's just like I won't wear Adidas socks with Nikes. It's my prerogative. I can do what I want to do. Anyways. So yeah, Panini is thriving still, and they have entered the NFT market as of 2022. And once again, with their official license to NBA, NBA cards are really, really popular. All right. Now, about Chipper Jones, that's I'll make mention of that more than once, probably more than twice, probably as many times as I goddamn well want to. What I've mentioned before is I didn't get is a weird word. Let's try and rephrase that. The opportunities I had to collect cards with my son when he was growing up, due to the divorce that him and his mom and I had. When you only got your kid on the weekends, makes it really hard to just like sit down and do what it takes to collect cards. And the fact of the matter was, he was heavily playing baseball growing up. And so the weekends were basically, regardless if he was with me or his mom, it was baseball time. So the chances I had were very, very limited to do the internet scouring for cards and organizing them and whatnot. And he was collecting cards on his own in I don't know, like a kid fashion, you know what I'm saying? He had binders and cards that he deemed important put in there. But we weren't doing it together. And nor was I even doing it, as I've mentioned a million times, from 1992 to 2016. So it just wasn't anything I was doing anyways. And you know, him the same as me, when I was a kid, anybody that was a Major League Baseball player was awesome, one. And two, anybody that played on the Dodgers, that was basically my favorite player. So any Dodger was my favorite player. It was the same for him. But you know, as you get older, you start to single out certain players and people for whatever reason it is. And so when I got to that age, I singled out Will Clark, and well, here is what you have of that after all these years of collecting. So when my son was a teenager, and this never somehow came up because he's talking about Giancarlo Stanton or James Loney, but Chipper Jones never really came up. And then when he was a middle teenager, he let me know Chipper Jones was his favorite player. And I was like, that's pretty cool because Chipper Jones is freaking dope. And number two, I was kind of like looking to expand my collection beyond Will Clark, because at that time, I only had the Will Clark thing going. So basically, the Chipper Jones collection that I have is for my son, who's not even 21 yet, and let's just say, I mean, he has a house and all that stuff, but he keeps anything important at my place still, so that ain't going to his house. That Frenchie will eat that shit for goddamn sure. All right. So yeah, so I basically put this collection together for my son, and I'm going to show you a couple of items from that collection. And once again, I never want you guys, if you ever watch this, don't ever forget, I'm an artist. I paint. Half the stuff you see in the background was done by me. And so that's kind of part of what this show is, because I use art in unique items to bolster my collection. And I hope you be an adventurous collector like that too. Because me, I have a lot of artist friends. I mean, like a lot. And it's nice to have, you know, a piece of art from the people you know and that you could add to your collection. I mean, like I said, tons of people have contributed to the Clark collection, be it cards or art. Okay, well, reiterate, man, that's what I'm gonna do. I don't really talk shit about people that collect graded cards. To each is his own, okay? I just don't find any importance in it if it's really not an item that you're ever gonna really give up. If you're a genuine investor and you're flipping cards around and that's what you do, then that's what you do. But when it comes to like the players that I collect, that just seems like a high price card. My opinion, whatever, okay? But I'm going to show you something that makes me a fucking liar. Look at that. Oh my God, I got a graded card. I totally forgot I even had this thing. And, well, there you go. You can't believe a damn thing I say. I say I don't collect graded cards, but I got one. You know what? I think I'm gonna fucking crack that bitch one day. One day. If I could open that slab. Anyways, so look, your boy, he's a big fat liar. But that's a dope ass Chipper Jones card. Super dope. That one's a near mint 8. I just threw it because, well, it's protected. All right, here's something more my speed, my style. Now, why? Because I made it. So this right here is a Chipper Jones, shall we call it card art, because it's made from baseball cards. So got some Chipper Jones on the side. Got some human used baseball remnants in there. And, oh, look at that card just gleaming in the back. So, Chipper Jones card art. My little rendition of a Chipper Jones rookie card. The Bowman, if I'm correct. And that's ink and watercolor on a card. Okay, this right here is not card art. This is just a card, but it's a cool one. Nice die cut shape. with a, I always like to read, this certificate expressly warrants the authenticity of the piece of game-worn jersey. Hey, this one's saying it was a game-worn. A lot of times they say this jersey was touched, like touched. They put the jersey on, like do a button, and then take it off, and that's considered a worn jersey. So this is claiming to be game worn. So congratulations to me, as it says on the back of the card. What else do we got here? Oh, I need to case this up, but let's see, is this a game worn? Yep, this is a game worn piece as well. Chipper Jones. I got to get that in a nicer case than that, because this thing about to fall out. All right, so as I was saying, if I have more cards of anyone else than any other player, is Chipper Jones. So this is my Chipper Jones binder. It's got cards, magazines, and whatnot, and you know, little print of the art that I had made. Let's see, we've got a ton of rookies in here. Oh, hey, so while I got it out, this is kind of a good idea if you have your cards in a binder, all right? Now, this is what I call a dust cover, all right? Now, it's basically done with a sheet. So you have a 9-card regular baseball card sheet, and you stick it in the very, very back of the book, and you only occupy the 2 top rings, all right? Now, what's great about this is then when you take it, you can flop it over your cards, and it protects them from the dust that can, possibly go in between the card and the sheet. So that's something I've done to most of my cards so far, and you should do it to yours too. I'm gonna grab something out of here. Is an interesting, what can I say? Interesting. Excuse me. An interesting idea or concept or collaboration. Let's just put it that way. So don't mind me. I'm just taking this magazine out of the binder here. Okay, now. Okay, cool. Chipper Jones, blowing a bubble on a Beckett. I mean, he's a baseball player. This is Beckett Baseball Card Monthly. Okay, whatever. Crazy part is somehow, some way, Christy Brinkley was the photographer for the shoot. And, well, there she goes right there. Was she powdering his face? But yeah, so she kind of like directed that, and shit, let's go inside. Let's take a deeper look. See, I was not collecting in '96, so I can honestly say this is the first time I've looked at a Beckett from '92 and beyond. So let's take a trip. The inside covers always had dope art, so we'll go ahead and just expose that. Iron Man and the Iron Horse. And let's see if we can figure out who was the artist of that. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Cover. Artist named Anthony Douglas with the serious Cal Ripken Jr. and Lou Gehrig art. That's hype. Sleeves on the back. All right. Mattingly fans. Well, that just shows you how great I am at surprise parties. So there you fucking go. I'm a dumbass. Couldn't even keep the secret. To me, that's an underrated. I think that's Donruss too. That could possibly be my favorite year of Donruss ever made. Everything else was just kind of bad design. Don't get me wrong. I always liked the Diamond Kings because of the art aspect. But honestly, they just weren't that great. Okay, here goes in the Chipper and Christie blowing zip-bubbles. Zip-bubble. Zip-bubble. You know, I've yet to score. Hold on. This whole thing about to fall down. Go ahead and place that right there for now. Okay. And let's see. Keep going through this magazine. I always find the coolest stuff in here. Oh, hey, let's see if they got the hot list in here. Oh, look, some more of that year Donruss. Sweet, dude. I love Tony Gwynn. That's such a dope set. And I'm not gonna lie, I don't read magazines. And if you see me looking from the back to the front, as long as I've been alive, I've always done it that way. I'm a picture guy, so I just look at pictures. I find pictures, and then if I stumble upon something to read, I read it. So for me, the magazine doesn't have any real order, and maybe that's an idiosyncrasy of mine. But yeah, I don't really care to look at the articles. I just want to see the cool pictures. Baby Shat, what? Oh, so I was able to land a Fred Lynn of these Kellogg's 3D cards, which are pretty freaking cool. That's Thurman Munson, and one day I have to make some art of him. I haven't really gotten to that guy yet. All right. This is a big Cal Ripken issue right here. Everywhere I turn. Maybe he just broke. Oh, you know what? It looks like September 1995. He had just broken the consecutive game streak the year before this publication came out. So subsequently, the next year, he had tons of cards in commemoration of that big milestone. All right, here we go into the Chipper Jones stuff. So let's get to the Griffey in the article before that, but let's just see. Great picture of him looking out into the field, wondering what he gonna do next. And here, we'll just read a little bit of this because we know him as Chipper, but the Mets fans know him as Larry. So his name is Larry Wayne Jones. As I just said, not many people know that except his teammates, and they tease him about it unmercifully. Not since David Justice in 1990 has a rookie had such an impact on the Braves. Beyond Greg Maddux, Jones may have been the club's MVP in their World Championship season. When the Braves needed a big hit, he delivered. And when they needed a big defensive play, he was on the air or on the ground making it happen. But just where did Chipper Jones get that nickname? Just a chip off the old block, he explains. It's already been quite a career for the 24-year-old, but it's certainly not expected. As a high school senior, Jones was the top overall pick, in the draft back in 1990, getting a $285,000 bonus and whipping through 4 minor league classifications in less than 4 years. He would have been a full-time player in 1994 if not for a season-ending injury in the spring. We'll leave it at that. Now, Chipper Jones was a highly, highly, highly touted player. Let's just say he had hype. And a lot of the players that get the hype they've shown they've shown what they're capable of, okay? So Chipper Jones was that guy. He was the top one coming out of school. And that knee injury, it could have devastated his career. But it didn't. So that's pretty awesome because the kid ended up becoming a Hall of Famer. And let's just see, Chipper Jones. I got the technology right here. So we're going to look at Chipper Jones and see what the boy did. He's one of the greatest switch hitters of all time. Chipper Jones, American baseball player. We will see what Wikipedia has to say about Chipper. No, we don't want Wikipedia. Let's go to Baseball Reference. We want the numbers, okay? So we're going to read his career line across the board. 85.3 WAR, HOF, 8,984 at-bats, 2,727 hits, 468 home runs, 303 career batting average, 1,619 runs, 1,623 RBIs, and 150 stolen bases. Now, let's see. Definitely a Hall of Famer. He's in 8-time All-Star, 1995 World Series champion, 2-time Silver Slugger, and he won a batting title. So all right, here we go. In 2008, Chipper Jones hit .364 with a 470 OPB. Damn, boy. Okay, so that was a short season of 128 games in which he hit 22 home runs, 75 RBIs. So maybe the short season for him, at least games-wise, is what led to that average. But let's just let it be known that 303 career batting average, that means he averaged batting 300 every year. So there you go. Not that hard to understand. The kid was a freaking hitter from both sides of the plate. And he had a career high of 45 home runs in 1999, which was his MVP season. So he was a bopper. When he was younger, he was, look, I feel like this is the same for a lot of guys. Same with Mike Trout, same with Barry Bonds. They're leaner, they're faster when they're younger, and that kind of tends to tail off when you're a bigger guy. That's just from observation. But yeah, Chipper Jones was a beast. Let me see, how many Gold Gloves did he win? Whoa. Chipper Jones never won a Gold Glove. This is news to me. What do you know? Chipper Jones never won a Gold Glove. Well, guess what? You can't win it all, and he just about did. So, yeah, if you didn't get to see Chipper Jones play, he was just an absolute beast. Let's see where he stacks in the all-time third baseman. This is interesting because we've got players like Mike Schmidt, Brooks Robinson, I mean, third base is a boss position. Chipper Jones, all-time rank. All right, let's see. This is a Bleacher Report ranking the all-time third baseman in baseball. So let's see. We'll just read the top 10 because this is interesting to me. I played some third base. I love that position. I would have to say that my glove was better than my arm, so it's probably more suited to be at second base. But I played it. I love playing it. I love the challenge of people hitting it to me real hard and being able to catch it and throw them out. It was awesome. So here we go. Bleacher Report as of this is a long time ago. But hell, we'll still use it because, and we'll look at that list and I'll see if I know of any names that have popped up in the last 10 years that could be in, and right off the bat, if he's not on here, I'm going to tell you, oh, but this is of all time. So I was going to mention Nolan Arenado, and I would have to say he'd probably be on this list. But as of 2012, number 10 is Scott Rowland. He was an absolute beast. I believe he played with Philadelphia. Let's see. Did he start with Philly? I know he won. Let's see. Who cares? We're not talking about him anyways. I'm talking about Chipper Jones. So, number 10, Scott Rowland. Number 9, Frank Home Run Baker. This is an oldie. That's 1913. When he led the league with 12 home runs. His nickname was Home Run Baker, and he led the league with 12 home runs. It's pretty awesome. But, half of your home runs were probably inside the park home runs because these fields were freaking bigger than anything you ever seen before for baseball. Number 8, a personal favorite of mine, Wade Boggs. This was somebody I got to see his career. The best American League hitter of his time. Hated when he went to the Yankees, but I met him when he went to the Yankees. So go figure. Ended his career with 3,010 hits and a lifetime 328 batting average. So he was a beast. Number 7, Ron Santo of the Cubs. Cubs fans love this guy. I'm not super familiar with him as he was before my viewing time, but he is a Hall of Famer, and I'm sure he's very worthy of his placement on this list. Number 6, Eddie Matthews. It's another Braves player. So, we got 2 Braves players. Braves third baseman is all-time third baseman, which is pretty awesome. So, Matthews was a 17-year player with the Braves. It looked like he. Let's see first. Oh no, it looks like he played with the Tigers as well. Needless to say, in 17 years, he had 512 home runs, 1,453 RBIs, and an All-Star, 9-time All-Star. And was he was 1953 and 59 MVP runner-up. But that doesn't mean anything. It just means the guy ahead of you was just an absolute nightmare. Number 5, Alex Rodriguez. Now, I'm not a huge fan of the guy by any means. but you can't take away what he did, even though he was an absolute douche and a cheater. So, moving on. All right, number 4, Brooks Robinson. This guy, okay, is his nickname the Human Vacuum? If your nickname's a Human Vacuum, you're probably a pretty damn good third baseman. And with his record 16 Gold Gloves, there you go. And let's see. I feel like there was okay, this is what I'm talking about. He won 2 World Series rings with the Orioles in 66 and 70, and he was named the World Series MVP in 1970. And you should look that up. Just go on YouTube and look up Brooks Robinson 1970 World Series, and he was an absolute maniac and deserved that MVP like nobody's business. Okay, here we go. Number 3, George Brett. George Brett was a guy that I saw, can I say the tail end? Let's just say the final freaking 10-year act, because he played for a long time. 21 years with the Royals. And he won the MVP in 1980. It was a strike year, and he batted .390 that year. So that was, other than Gwynn's, I think it was .394 average in 1994. Those are the 2 highest batting averages since Ted Williams hit 400, which is amazing. All right, here we go. Number 2, Chipper Jones. So in 2012, Chipper Jones was regarded as the number 2 third baseman of all time. So I already know who's going to be number 1 after this. So in 2012, apparently Chipper Jones had just recently retired and comes in second and is by far the greatest switch-hitting third baseman of all time. So when you start breaking baseball down, it's like right-handed. Give me right-handed. What's the best right-handed third baseman? What's the best left-handed hitting third baseman? He's clearly the greatest hitting, switch-hitting third baseman of all time. And like I said, 303 career average, 468 homers, 1,623 RBIs, 1,619 runs scored, 2726 hits, 549 doubles, 150 stolen bases, 1,512 walks, and a career 930 OPS. That's pretty gnarly. And we mentioned that he was an 8-time All-Star, won 2 Silver Sluggers in 99 and 2000, as well as the 1999 MVP award, National League. We talked about his best season, which was 99, batted at .319 with 45 dingers, 110 RBIs, 441 on-base percentage, and a remarkable .639 slugging percentage. In 2008, he won his batting title, batting .364, as I mentioned, and had a career best .470 on-base percentage that year. And by the time, so 5 years later, let's say, he was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2017. So Chipper Jones was an absolute monster for he was great for an entire career. And then number 1, Mike Schmidt. If you know about baseball, you know about Mike Schmidt. If you don't know about baseball, you don't know about Mike Schmidt. So, know about baseball. Tell you a little bit about Mike Schmidt, just in case you don't know, because that's kind of part of what I do. I paint the players that I paint from the historical aspect. I'm deeply rooted into the era that I grew up watching. So those are the stories that I like to tell. And Chipper Jones is one of these guys that's right now, the kids that are my son's age, my son isn't even 20, clearly know about Chipper Jones, but Chipper Jones has been retired for 10 years now. So the way the world works and the rate and speed at which we are given and process and forget information, it seems like people are so focused on the current, which is fine because that's what's being played today. But one day, these guys who are the stars today will become the legends of yesterday. And that's where I like to pull from. So Chipper Jones is that in-between guy right now. But then, like I said, at the rate at which the information we're getting is really fast, less people will know about him. I'm not going to say Chipper Jones will ever be forgotten. He's in the Hall of Fame, so he's there for eternity. To the people of Atlanta, the kid played his whole career there. So he's going to be a legend. He's a living legend right now. So I'm not saying he's going to be forgotten, but I like to keep these stories being told. And that's what I do with my art. It's historically based. And that's what inspires me to tell. See, I can't tell Fernando Tatis's story yet. It hasn't been told. Chipper Jones' story, it's been told. And we can just keep his legacy alive by telling it and retelling it and painting about it and all that stuff. And like I said, that's kind of what my motive is with my art, is to tell those stories. All right. Well, once again, there's nothing we can possibly do personally about what's happening in Texas other than mourn the loss. Like, it's becoming troublesome because if you have kids, and I'm lucky that I don't, but I do have grandkids that will one day be in school, you just hope that they are safe in those places. And from time to time, on a more regular frequency, these things are happening to our innocent children that are just going to school to learn. As parents, you want to know that when your kids are out of your hands and outside your home, that they're safe, and they should be safe at school. And so these things are tragedies, and nobody should have to go through this. And so that's, I don't want to get into a political discussion. Something needs to happen. What? I'm not quite sure. But our kids, at the very least, should be afforded safety when they go to school. And that's all I got to say about it. You know, just remember these kids, all right? Because just like this, like some telling about these baseball players and their stories. Well, guess what? Unfortunately, these kids, their story's been told, and that's the end. That was the end. And so if we can, and the parents, all they have left is the memories, and some whack job cut it all short for these people and the stories that they could have had. So anyways, just have a moment of silence, because it just it's so random, and it just happens at any time. It seems you can't be prepared enough. But once again, that's not what this show is about, but it is important to be aware of such things. And anyways, this show's more on the lighter side. Talk about collecting, talk about stories of my past, talk about my friends. And if you're watching, you're a friend. So thank you for watching The Bill Collector, where I'm Bill and I'm a collector. And we'll see you next time. Have a good one, guys.